end up marrying them.
What does that look like to you? Like, how do you carry yourself in a relationship to date to marry versus just date to date?
Well, I don't know. I've never been married.
Well, obviously, I've never been married either, but there's characteristics. So, like, let's say, what is your ideal? If you pictured your husband, right? What are those characteristics? If you, as a wife, as someone who wants to be married, what are the characteristics that you think you should have to date to marry? Or, like, does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, if I picture my husband and me as a wife, I would picture me as caring, loving, takes care of things around the house while also trying to make income, because in the future I want to live in a household that has dual income if possible. Does that make sense?
What do you look for in a man?
What do I look for in a man? I would say someone who's stable, I guess. All I really look for is stability. Like, if you can't keep a job, then I don't want to be with someone like that.
Can I ask you something? So the guy that you said broke up with you, he refused to buy you a vape. He obviously wasn't totally okay with you vaping, and he didn't want to buy it for you because he didn't essentially want to break the law. So isn't that a green flag in a man? Because that shows that he takes care of himself, and he's also, willing to, like, be straight as far as following the law, doing all of those things right.
Yeah.
So maybe you kind of have to change the way that you're putting yourself out there, and you will find that man that you mentioned in the TikTok without moving, because I know you mentioned that a lot of them, like, live far away. So do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was actually a good point, because, I mean, one of the things with the vape, in addition to it being illegal, it sounded like he had an issue with your, are you addicted to nicotine?
No. I could quit if I wanted to.
You could quit if you're,
Like,
how often do you vape?
I'm planning on, like, not vaping when school starts again.
Do the vape cartridges, do they have nicotine?
Yes.
Okay, so you could quit if you wanted to?
Yeah.
Why do you want to quit?
When school starts, yes.
Why is that?
Just because I know that I've been doing it for a long while, and I see that since it's not affecting the outside of my body, I don't see it as a bad thing, but I know internally it's hurting me, so I want to quit once school starts.
But, I mean, so this guy who, he didn't want to do something illegal, but he also wanted to see you do something healthy by quitting the vaping. Wouldn't that be, like, husband material, positive characteristic?
Well, yeah, it was positive, but regardless, I still wanted to do it, and I hoped that he would understand that.
Right, but he was trying to do something, like, he was trying to help you. He was looking out for you.
He was trying to help me.
Yeah, and you punished him for it.
Do you think
You called him a bitch and got into an argument.
Do you think that maybe it was because you felt like he was controlling that aspect of your life and you didn't like that feeling?
It did, because in the argument, he was making it a point that since I was younger than him, I was naive, and I didn't like that.
What
How
was the
old
age gap?
how
How
old
old
is
is
he?
he?
He's 21.
And you're 19?
Well, I mean, that's not a massive
not a
age
major-
thing, but,
yeah.
I mean, was he wrong, though?
Well, I don't know.
Well, you said that you were naive. Why? For
That-
vaping? For being addicted to, no offense, Andrew, being addicted to nicotine?
Well, I guess, yeah.
Isn't that typically a bad thing?
Well, like, at this day, who doesn't vape anymore? Like me.
I don't.
Who doesn't
I
vape?
I vaped at one point and then I didn't, like, literally, because
I don't know if everybody was shooting up heroin would
But
you
the thing,
do
the
that?
logic of it doesn't make sense. If you already know that it's not good for you, why not cut it now and wait till school? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I think the mentality of it is you want to do what you want to do, and it comes to, I don't want to say insecurity, but it's like thinking that it's control when somebody wants something good for you. It's like, I want to do what I want to do. And I'll be honest, in my 20s, I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I don't want to be told what I want to do. Because it's that stubborn, you still have you want to you want to be your independent woman, don't tell me what to do. But really, when it comes down to it, if you're looking for a husband is a leader, is somebody that, I think there's that word of submit, which triggers a lot of people. But when you come to, if you want a husband who's a true leader, true provider, means you trust him to relinquish control and trust that he's going to make the right decisions for you. You submit to that man in a sense that he's going to take care of me, and the decisions that he's making for me is the best decisions for us, for me. So in that sense, you would trust him. Like, you know what, you're right. Partying is not a good look for me. Vaping is not a good look for me, because all those things are going to make you better. And that is the qualities that you do want in a man, because he's making the right decisions he's basically investing in your future, because he's like, I want this woman and I want the best version of her, because in relationships, you make each other better. So those are qualities that you should look for. And I think you say you want to date to marry, you're not even remotely ready for that. But I think it's just a matter of working on yourself and realizing that when you truly want a man, you have to be ready to, if he's the right man that leads, protects, all of that, then you can submit to him and trust him to make decisions for you.
So you had an issue with him trying to, you said like it was controlling or whatever? Or
It felt like that in a
he
sense.
was trying to control you? Like how so?
You know, well, like I said before, he made it a point that since I was younger than him, that I wouldn't listen, I was naive, I was stubborn.
Well, were you?
I don't know. I was just like very upset in the moment. So do girls get naive and stubborn when they're upset?
Some do.
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
It
there's a difference between
happens,
bossing and leading too. So I mean, it just goes back and forth. It's just a matter of what you wanted. It's like you didn't want that relationship period. Like